The White House is vowing to keep pressure on the Assad regime in Syria after airstrikes this week, but their specific path forward remains unclear. President Trump is at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida for the weekend and will not return to Washington until Sunday. This morning, he arrived at his golf club, but the White House would not confirm what he is doing there. On Friday, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said the U.S. would be announcing new economic sanctions soon. The administration also said it is prepared to do more, but declined to clarify what that might be. Joining me now is Franco Ordoñez. He's a White House correspondent for McClatchy. Good to see you, Franco.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
All right, so what comes next for the administration in regards to Syria?
I think it's a great question. I think what's going to be very interesting is what is Tillerson's visit next week with Russia and Vladimir Putin. How is that discussion going to come up? They're obviously going to talk about Syria.
So it's interesting. The airstrike received mixed reaction from lawmakers, some giving praise, others calling for congressional oversight. How do you think the White House will work with Congress moving forward, or even will they?
I think it's interesting. I think a lot will tell, like, how much of an effort are they going to continue to do this. They're talking about today that they're prepared to take more military action and or economic action. If they do that, Congress is definitely going to want to have a role to have oversight on this. If this is just a one and done thing, and some think it is, I think will kind of move on pretty quickly.
So Russia warned that the strike could have extremely serious consequences. It goes against the president saying, would it be nice to get along with Russia? Remember that? So how do they resolve this new complication?
I think that's what we're going to learn about in next week's visit. And tomorrow, Tillerson's going to be on Face the Nation with you guys, so it'll be very exciting to hear what he has to say. He has not talked much to the media at all, so to hear from him and what his goals are going to be on this, because this is obviously a very crucial relationship. This attack on Syria is not only about Syria. Russia and Syria have a bond. And you know, there's big factors at play here.
So what's interesting is that the airstrikes completely overshadowed the summit with the Chinese President Xi Jinping. What do we know came out of their meetings?
It really did overshadow that. That was a very important meeting. It was a chance to hopefully smooth over some of the rough edges from the rhetoric over the campaign. They were talking about trade. You know, very little actually came out of it, but we do know that, you know, they have promised to cooperate more, to work together, and also, you know, Trump accepted an invitation to visit China. That's pretty significant. We'll see when it will be, but the administration says they're working on some dates.
Lastly, the president is apparently fed up with infighting between his top advisors and reportedly demanded Steve Bannon and Jared Kushner work out their differences. Is that likely?
You know, I think time will tell on that one. You know, the Steve Bannon being removed from the National Security Council was a major, I mean, I don't know how else you can put it other than say a major shakeup. Bannon had been moving up in influence in the White House. There were a lot of questions about that. All of a sudden, it seems like he is not as much of an influence, and it was very interesting that Sean Spicer sent out a tweet of kind of the briefing that was had on Syria in Mar-a-Lago, and at the table, along with Tillerson, along with the Priebus, was Jared Kushner, and sitting behind Trump, not at the table, was Steve Bannon.
Palace intrigue. Franco
Indeed.
Ordoñez. Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.